It just really
For sure.
multiplies it. Like that anxiety that you have initially that is healthy, that you should be going through. And it's okay if you're like more of an anxious person. Like I clearly am an anxious person and I accept that. But I have to still deal with it. I can't just not deal with it. You can't just hide from your problems. That's just not, you can't hide from who you are. Because once you do that, then that's how you lose yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you're done.
And yeah, 100%. Because that's what happens when you get sober. You have to face all of your inner demons.
This is Rock Bottom with Ryan. No sugarcoating, no filters. The pain, the chaos, the truth. No bullshit. Just recovery.
Hey everyone, just wanted to thank you for watching another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan. This episode is brought to you by Sober Strong Apparel. Sober Strong Apparel makes heavyweight premium gear for people who take sobriety seriously. 10% of every order goes back to recovery centers. Sober Strong also runs an impact sponsorship program that puts gear directly into facilities for people just starting out. So if you're sober or sober curious or have a loved one who's sober, check out SoberStrongApparel.com. Use the code ROCKBOTTOM for 15% off. It used to be 10%, now it's 15% for a discount. And they have amazing clothes. I love what this company stands for. The quality is incredible. I mean, you can get these banners, you can get hoodies, you can get hats right here. No poison, no compromise. I mean, it's amazing. Love this brand. Love what it represents. Stay sober. Stay true. Rep the crew. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this episode.
Hi, welcome back to Rachel Recovery Room. We have our guest here today, Jessica. You mind introducing yourself?
Hey, super happy to be here. My name is Jessica Nolan. I've been following the pod for a little bit, so super excited to be a guest here.
I am so happy that you are my third guest on Rachel's Recovery Room. Yes. This is going to be exciting. We've been talking for a while, going back and forth in stories, but do you mind explaining or telling us drug of choice, sobriety date? Let's start from there, and then we could kick it off through childhood.
Juicy. Yeah. For drug of choice, I think that you, Ryan, and I have the same. So my drug of choice ended up being alcohol. When I was younger, it was honestly like pretty much anything I could get my hands on. Always did like consuming alcohol, but it could have been like anxiety medication. It could have been like anything just to like alter my mind. Like I would be, oh my God, I was smoking weed like super young. I don't know if you went through that too, but yeah, I was.
Oh, yeah. That was my first thing I tried with my mother.
Same. Yes. So I love my mom. She's a hippie. So, I mean, love that. But I mean, it's just not the ideal thing to kind of introduce to someone else, right? So it kind of just makes it seem like it's pretty normal and acceptable. And it's just like not a great way to learn how to cope with things. So yeah, towards the end, I feel like everything else made me more nervous. So I was like just drinking a lot to kind of calm the nerves. So I'm a very anxious person.
How old were you when you started drinking?
When I first started drinking, I've tried like beers like here and there, maybe when I was like 13. And then 14, it was a little bit more common for me to find, like alcohol on the weekends, or like someone would like buy me and a friend like just like this like large like cooler that we would share, and it would be like so important that I would have that at the end of the week. Like that was like my thing. And like looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I was just like super young doing that. And then when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was drinking like every day, very heavily, like extremely heavy drinking, probably like in a weekend, I would drink like 2 2 6s, which is
Yeah.
pretty extreme for like, you know, a child. Yeah.
And let's backtrack just a little bit.
Mm.
What is your sobriety date?
I've been sober for almost 600 days now. Thank
Ooh,
you.
yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
Good, good. And then I want to backtrack a little. So by 16, 17 years old, you're already
mhm.
drinking like almost daily from the moment you wake up to going to bed, like blacking out.
No, it was because it's hard to get alcohol when you're that young. So it wasn't something that I could do constantly. I would have older friends, so they would be able to get alcohol for me, but I had no money. So it wouldn't be as consistent as I wanted it to be. So I would basically just be like super anxious until like the moment that I could drink. And then by that time, I was so over the top filled with anxiety that I would just go. I would just go for it. And yeah, I would black out every time.
Wow. And did this just carry on into after high school or throughout high school? How was high school like for you? And how was childhood like? Well, you said you were anxious. Was that you were coping with anxiety through drinking?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been anxious since I can remember. Like now it's not as bad. I can't even say it even looks the same to me when I look at anxiety. Now I can get past it. Like at first I might be like a little bit rigid, but yeah, growing up I was so anxious. Like even being like 4 or 5 years old, and I'd be biting my nails and I would not be able to sleep, wouldn't be able to eat, just like very um very fearful of like what's going on.
Hmm.
I didn't have like the best upbringing, which is I don't think that's a surprise to how I, learned how to cope with things. So
Right.
that really just set the tone for, I don't know, I guess, for addiction in my life.
Right. Because you were trying to cope with your feelings and you didn't know how. You didn't know how.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I
Really.
had times in my life where like I was on and off. Like I knew right away that drinking was not good for me. Right away. I'm like, this is not good, but this is the only thing that's keeping me going right now. I'm like, I need this. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. When I was 18, I don't know, I don't know what came to me, but I started to think, oh my God, I'm an adult. Like, I need to overcome this. So I was trying really hard, and I was taking anxiety medication, which was not a great idea because that was so easy to take. And yeah,
Mhm.
maybe I didn't drink as much at first, but sure as hell I did later on. But that in between, I was able to get so much done. Like I applied to university, I got in, I was working a lot of jobs, working towards that. And then I could maintain some normalcy in my life for a certain amount of time. And then the I would be so overwhelmed that I would have to start like curbing that all with like alcohol again. So it was just like this roller
Yeah.
coaster, like up and down, up and down.
Yep.
And then as I got
Right.
older, it just terrible. And like because I looked like I was doing so much and doing so well, and I was, but then you can't run from yourself. So you are just going and going in this circle. I mean, it's taken a while to get back around, but still,
Really.
yeah, I did that until what, close to 600 days ago. I was playing that that game.
And you mentioned that you still applied for universities. Was this when you were like 18, 19?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you applied for university, you got into them, still while
yeah,
drinking heavily though, and using benzos or mixing and blacking
yes,
out.
yeah.
So, and what did you study?
I went to school for psychiatric nursing.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Um,
doing that now?
I am not doing that now. I left the program, thinking, I think that a lot of us in recovery do this, is you look for something to heal you in a indirect way. So I was like, you know what, if I I do this and I'm in this program, this is going to make me succeed. This is going to make all my problems go away. And I'm going to be helping people. This is me. But within that, you open up so much about yourself. And I'm like, I can't do this from like a healthy place. Like it was,
Right.
yeah, like it felt like
Yeah.
fake. Like I'm
authentic.
going there to like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't make sense for me to do it anymore.
I understand that. I understand.
Yeah.
I was studying substance abuse while an addict.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, you know what? If I do this,
And I'm like,
then yes, I'm going to tell everyone how to
"Hmm,"
be. Yeah. Yeah.
while doing it. So
Yeah.
I could relate. And
Yeah.
so, okay, so do you end up graduating college though? And like, what's going on for you with
No.
that time? Like, let's get to the nitty gritty. And like, if you don't mind me
Oh.
asking, when I say the nitty gritty, men,
Mhm.
women, I don't know. I don't know which way we swing. That's okay. I don't judge. I'm
Yeah.
just saying though, but love could play a big role, or relationships can
Mhm.
also play a big role, especially at that age and as a woman.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, did any of that ever happen to you?
Yeah. I think it would be, yeah, it'd be crazy to say that it didn't like affect my life.
Right.
When I was 18 and when I got into university, I was in a relationship with a guy, and I found out that he was using secretly. So
Oh wow.
yeah, he was snorting coke and who knows what else at the time. So, I mean, I'm glad to have known because as someone who grew up with a coke addict, I'm like, I cannot relive this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to leave that relationship and that was okay. We didn't live together, so it wasn't super messy, but it just brings up so much of the past because now you're like, how did this happen? I was in this happy
Yeah.
relationship and then now you're acting like someone I don't even know.
Yeah.
So that was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of them. Yeah. And then I had some other relationships. I don't know if that really, because they weren't big drinkers. So I didn't really,
So drinking was your thing while they did their
it
thing.
was like my little thing. And I would have times where I was and I wasn't. So I feel like no one really called me out at the time because it was like more, I guess, in secret. You wouldn't really see it. Like I would go, if I was going out with like friends, like it would be extreme, like extreme drinking. So I just
Yeah.
think that maybe they just didn't notice or even really care. I think that might be kind of what it really was.
Right. So it does sound to me this was really mainly just really coping with your anxiety that you felt growing
Oh
up,
yeah.
and then it just turned into a major habit that you loved the feeling, not knowing you were actually causing more anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh yeah, the anxiety is definitely like the biggest thing. But I also like I know I kind of touched briefly on my childhood, but yeah, I grew up with an addict. My dad was a very heavy drinker and he was also using crack. And that caused such an unstable environment that naturally any person would be anxious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And I was honestly, it was like even encouraged. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
bars at like 15 or 16 because so and so says I can be there or whatever because my dad is like selling drugs to this guy so I can hang out in all these spots and no one is saying anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And at the
yeah.
time it was exciting and fun.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
know any
exactly.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand. I completely understand that. So thank you for sharing that aspect of your life because I know that must have been hard. And I could relate to not to growing up in bars, but to having an addict as a parent.
It's
Always.
mhm. Yeah, like I'm getting a little
Yeah.
emotional thinking about it.
And that's okay. That's okay to get emotional because, well, let me not be corny, but I will. Let your feelings out, girl. We're feeling our feelings.
Oh,
I get it. My mother
Yeah.
was an addict, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, she didn't, make it out. If you didn't know that about me,
I know that.
but yeah, she passed away when I was 16 of an overdose. Alcohol wasn't her thing.
Mhm.
So I understand, and it makes you what I could say I relate to is not knowing what's going to happen next. And I mean,
Mhm.
my dad ended up raising me, but
Mhm.
the fear. So I had anxiety growing up highly.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out. This is a completely open space, and you're not being judged. So, and we can move forward. We could completely
Yeah.
move forward to you went to school, you became a daily drinker now. And what
Mhm.
was the daily life like for you, like a 24-hour period for you before you found your reason why to quit, like your why?
Mhm.
And then we'll explain what your why is maybe after.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, a day would be me waking up extremely hungover, like, my goodness, just like totally sick to my stomach. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? Am I going to drink or am I just gonna ride this out? So do what most people do when it becomes enough is you're gonna have a drink. So I definitely didn't think I would get emotional.
I get emotional when I share my story too. It's actually
Yeah.
completely normal. It's normal. We're letting everything like we're talking about it sometimes. I also see that you're an influencer as well. So we're always, influencing other people. But then when we sit back and we share our story, we're like, oh, holy fucking shit. That was my
Yeah.
story. And like we
It's
don't
so
repeat it
heavy, yeah.
often. So I get it.
I don't think
Sometimes
I've
it's
ever.
hard. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on my
Yeah.
show. That means a lot to me, like personally.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
And we don't, if you don't feel comfortable speaking about something, we don't have to, we can move forward. But
No, it's
if it could help one person, that's my motto. If it could help one person who will be
mhm,
watching this, that's all that matters, right? That's why we're doing what we do.
really,
And
yeah.
I'm beyond proud of you for even coming on the show and sharing this for the first time then. So I know a 24-hour period for you is just
Mhm,
constant, battling whether you're going to drink or not.
yeah.
And most of the time you did, right? Because that's what we did. But then what would be your surrender moment and your why? Why did you want to quit?
My surrender moment was when I was so hungover, so sick. And I remember looking in the mirror and I had like no life left in my eyes. I'm like, this is like, I don't even know who this person is. This is emptiness. I'm like, I am getting so far off track. I'm like, I need to do something about it. Like, this is the last time that I can be sick like this. And I said, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it like all the way. I'm like, I have to fully admit it. I have to fully admit that. Sorry, I'm getting so emotional.
I'm
Admit
so
that I
sorry.
ever acted because
Yeah.
so long I was just acting like I could just get over it. And, it's not that bad, but really I was just getting so sick and I could feel my body was getting sicker and sicker. And there was nothing that was helping with like the hangovers and anxiety. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have no other way out besides like totally just being honest with myself. And I don't know, there's something about being honest with everyone else too. Like I have to embrace this completely and say, I'm sick. Like, I cannot drink ever again. When I was going through that and I was like not drinking, because I've gone a couple periods where I wasn't, but this time I remember planning out for days how I was going to tell my spouse that I'm never drinking again. Because I'm like, this is like something serious right now. And
Yeah.
I remember that I like finally had the courage to tell him. And he's like, that's absolutely fine. He's like, you don't have to. And after that, I'm like, I don't know what it was, but I needed to hear that because no one really told me that my drinking was bad. I think people just were scared to tell me or they didn't really know. So hearing that just I'm like, okay, this is it. Like I can live the rest of my life like this and I can finally just be myself and I don't have to worry about trying to calm my nervous system with something that's just like poisoning me constantly because
Yeah.
that's all I was doing. My nervous system relied solely on consuming one thing, and that is a
Yeah.
very exhausting way to live.
I know. And it's
Yeah,
actually doing the, like, we think it's helping us and it's not. It's actually
it's
making the anxiety and the shakes and everything actually 10 times worse. So
yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
temporary fix
Yeah, it just really
for sure.
multiplies it. Like that anxiety that you have initially that is healthy that you should be going through. And it's okay if you're like more of an anxious person. Like I clearly am an anxious person and I accept that, but I have to still deal with it. I can't just not deal with it. You can't just hide from your problems. That's just not, you can't hide from who you are. Because once you do that, then that's how you lose yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you're done.
And yeah, 100%. Because that's what
Yeah.
happens when you get sober. You have to face all of your inner demons. Did you, and I call it raw dogging sobriety. And I, again and again, every time I say that, people listening, don't do this. If you need medical attention when you are quitting, highly recommend it. Did you seek medical attention? Did you go to rehab? Because I raw dogged it and I shouldn't have.
I also did that. It was extremely painful. I did not know that you also did that. And good a disclaimer. Also, yeah. So the
Okay.
first time I did, because before this time I had about like 6 months sober. That time was extreme physical withdrawal. I don't know. Did you go through withdrawal too? Like physical withdrawal?
Massive amount of sweating, but I was also like 220 something pounds, so it could have been that. And I live in Florida, but I had really bad
Yeah.
insomnia and
Yeah.
irritability, and I
Hmm.
did have body aches. I had body aches like soreness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It
What
is
about you?
not. The insomnia was so bad. Yeah, I could not
Yeah.
sleep very well. I was sleeping like for maybe like 1 hour on, like 1 hour off for 9 days. It was pretty bad. I don't recommend it. And I just didn't, I don't know, but like I just did not want to, I didn't want to be away from what I felt I needed. Like I felt like if I went to treatment and I went somewhere else, it's like I, I don't know. I had the tools because I knew what to do, but I just wasn't doing it. It's like I knew
Right.
what I had to do, but for some reason this whole time I refused to help myself.
Yeah, like it's true. Like we all, if you think about it, and this goes for weight loss and everything, that
Yeah.
we all really deep down know what we have to do, right? When we're fucking up. So let's
Yeah.
just fucking not do that. Right. So that's what
Mhm.
you're trying to say. And I did the same thing. I was just like, I'm
Yeah.
done drinking and I'm going to go to meetings because that's what I was told to do.
I went to, I think I've gone to like maybe one meeting in sobriety.
Huh.
I've gone to meetings
Get it.
when I was not. Well, because I'm anxious, so I don't like
Yeah.
like maybe I shouldn't label myself as that, but in
I
that
know.
moment, I guess you could say that I was anxious. Yeah. Yes.
You know, this
Oh, yes.
anxiety.
That's what I am.
I get it.
That's me. And there was too much attention on me. Because if you admit that you're the newcomer, everyone's like, "Oh my God, let's let's talk to her nonstop," and everyone's like looking at me and talking to me, and then handing me stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like way too much." And I was already sober, so I'm like, "This is too much." I just wanted like the community, and I get it. It comes from a place of love, but it was too much. It was too much for me.
Yeah. Bearing.
Yeah. So
I could see that coming from somebody who has anxiety. You're already trying to get sober and face your feelings, and now
yeah,
you're being bombarded.
yeah. They're like, "What are you gonna do about it?" I'm like, "Oh."
It's
Yeah.
okay. I didn't continue going to AA, and I don't knock it. I think AA is great. Ryan is actually in AA and he does the steps. So we're opposite. I follow the Buddhist way. Or I try to. I'm not a monk. but I meditate and do things like that. And fitness. That's what keeps me sober. And community, this Instagram community is fucking awesome. But what about you? Like I didn't continue. I had a coach for some moments in time, and that's really I explored things. I don't think there's one single way. There's no one way of being sober, right? I attended AA a little
Mhm.
bit. It didn't really work for me. I was letting you know that Ryan also, he's part of AA and stuff like that. That works for him. I had a coach for a little bit. That also didn't work out for me. But I also, I'm into, the Buddhist way, not fully, but
Mhm.
I meditate a lot. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not a monk, but there's different things, fitness, but what do
Fitness,
you
yes.
personally do to stay sober since, you're anxious, you didn't want to go into the rooms? I understand that.
A lot of it is learning new habits and how to change your mind. There's so much more out there now to harness the power of your mind and rewire your brain to think differently. So
Mhm.
I've tried so many things. I mean, I've been to counselors, therapists, psychologists. I've been on and off different medications. I've tried like all the things, but some of the best things that I've done came from areas where you wouldn't even think. I love listening to Andrew Huberman. He is my guy.
Mhm.
He's a neuroscientist, and just learning about the brain and learning how small habits can change the way you think is it's a total game changer. So yeah, I just like learning about how my mind works. And also, I mean, a huge element in a spiritual way is just like self-forgiveness.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when you're in addiction, you don't like yourself. And a lot of the reason why you get stuck in it is because like you just can't forgive. You can't forgive what you've done and you're running away from it. So learning that I can just let it go and be who I am and live freely, that has allowed me to be sober and just finally live my life.
Hell yeah. And I love that aspect because that means like deep down, and this is just me being Rachel. I'm a really, really deep person. I think about a lot of shit too. I love psychology. You kind of like low key went into what your passion was originally going to college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like my
But
own
like,
project.
yeah, I love the
Seriously.
brain too, so I get it. And like
Yeah.
why we do the things we do. So
Mhm.
I love that and if you kind of just another piece of advice that maybe you would agree with because I feel like we kind of think similar.
Mhm.
If you put in your mind that alcohol is literal poison and you study what alcohol actually is doing to your brain and your body, it will be a
Mhm.
major turnoff. It will be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you care about yourself at all, yes.
Mhm.
And that helped me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so important when you're recovering is to learn about those things and to just like flip it around. And then I know you're big into this too, but like you're big into wellness now instead of like, hey, before you spend so much time, like I spent so much time doing the opposite or thinking I was doing healthy things, but meanwhile, the whole time I was sabotaging myself by drinking.
Yeah.
Mostly that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Yeah.
go walking thinking I'm going to lose weight, but also drink beer that night. So it like really made no
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, same here. I would be drinking so much, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to hot yoga tomorrow. And then I go to hot yoga and I'm like dehydrated, so it's extremely difficult, and I can't even do the whole class. So
Yeah, you
really,
probably are reeking like alcohol, the pheromone.
probably so bad. It was probably awful.
Honestly, if and this is gonna also be deep, and if you get emotional, this is okay. If you could honestly speak to you in addiction and you could
Mhm.
hold her hand and hug her, what would you tell her?
I feel like I know it sounds I feel like I've done that, I guess, in a sense, because I totally believe that's you need to connect all parts of yourself. I've spent so much time like being fragmented. I guess knowing that I've done what I've done is saying that like you can do this. You always have been able to do this, and there's such a good life ahead of you. You don't have to, yeah, you don't have to live just in this small space anymore. Yeah, because I always felt like my life was
Right.
like this. It's like so small. And then now I don't know, it's like, I don't want to say like limitless, but I mean, there's so much potential for anything, really.
Yeah, though, for sure.
Yeah.
It is limitless. Really. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, until we're here, you are 100% capable of achieving what you want if you put your mind to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No matter if we could
And
do
it's,
sobriety, fuck.
yeah. Seriously. Like I've been doing things I never thought I would ever be able to do. It's crazy. Like, do you think, like, to ask you something, did you think you would ever be doing this?
Hell no. Hell,
Hell no.
no, no,
Hell
no.
no. No?
Fa-
Loved it.
No, no, honestly. Doing my own segment, being part of a podcast, I mean, I could go on, but this is about you, girl. This is about you. But if you could, and you're really encouraging on social media, like I was saying,
Mhm.
and right now you're going really hard on the dry January, which I'm loving.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
this could be such a big turning point, right? For people could do dry January and then be like, wait, I want to continue. So what do you have to say about dry January?
Yeah, I did not think that I would go this hard at the dry January. Just one night I came home from work and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, a lot of people are talking about dry January. I'm like, I got a couple things to say. So I'm like, maybe I'll just, put a couple things up here and there. And then I don't know, like as I started doing it, I'm like, I'm gonna do this every single day. So every single day.
Yeah.
It's usually like based on like something that happened in the morning or like the night before. And then yeah, I'm just coming up with some tips and some recommendations and some like positive affirmations for staying sober in January. And
Yeah.
I think it's such a great month to do it because, well, of course, not everyone is doing it, but so many people are doing it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that makes it a lot easier when you have people by your side. I feel like there's less stigma that way as well.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that the response has been pretty good so far.
Yeah. And you're doing mocktails too, which is pretty cool. I see that.
I love me a mocktail.
That kombucha one that I messaged you about with the orange juice, what is it, like a mimosa?
Yeah,
I was like, that's gonna
that's
make
not
us
for you.
shit our pants. But you know what? Your
But
girl,
the
man.
green juice was okay. That one. It's ooh. You asked me about that green
What-
juice that I had.
Yes.
The,
Yes.
it
So
tastes
that is
so
that's about caffeine, right?
it has some caffeine in there.
So for any people who are into wellness and fitness and are into caffeine, like almost 800 milligrams occasionally, like me a day, then take her
Try something
tip
else.
on what this green drink is because you shouldn't be drinking 800 milligrams a day of caffeine. Not healthy.
You know what? It happens to the best of us. I'm guilty of it too. You do what you gotta do
Sometimes
sometimes. But
600.
that's all right. But the green juice, I don't know. Try it out. It's kind of gross,
What
but
is it?
it feels amazing.
I'll drink it.
It is called Subby Greens. I think it's a Canadian thing. So you guys have athletic greens in the US. So I'm sure you've heard
You're
of
in
that one.
Canada.
AG1. I'm in Canada.
Wow. This
Oh,
whole episode, I did not know that. Well, hello. I'm in
here I am.
That's not even
Yeah,
a Florida accent. I don't know what that was.
it's
Um,
good. I like it.
but if you could speak to people who are watching right now, well, you
Mhm,
technically are. But if you could talk to them and tell them somebody who is struggling, who's watching, who wants to quit, maybe sober, curious, doesn't know what to do, what
mhm.
advice would you give them?
Ooh, I would say, um, be patient with yourself. And if you try, which you should try, everyone should try, and you fail, don't let that be the last time you fail, because I have failed so many times. I've been trying to not drink since, honestly, forever. And now I would consider this, like, I like to say peaceful sobriety, because I don't ever feel like this is like a loss. I don't feel like I'm white knuckling or, I'm missing out. So don't give up. Keep trying. Yeah, forgive yourself. If you mess up, cool. Like, you can, if you wake up another day, try it again. And then if you mess up, do it. Just keep going. Even if you have to do it 1,000 times, then that's what's going on. Yeah.
Facts. And I thoroughly thank you for being my third episode. Thank you again. And I want to close it out with you just also giving your Instagram tag, if you don't mind, and anywhere people could find you so we could shout you out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to have talked with you today, because we've been talking on Instagram a little bit and laughing and joking. So that's awesome. So thank you. And then, sharing this crazy story was a emotional roller coaster for me. So I appreciate you and your patience here. But I'm sharing a whole bunch of stuff on Instagram. So just my name, Jessica Nolan. You'll find me there.
Woohoo! Okay, thank you again, and I'm
Rock Bottom with Ryan. No bullshit, just recovery.